Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, and drop me a comment. By all means, share it with anybody you think might get something out of it. Other than that, happy Friday, everybody. God, I love my Fridays. My home group, the Gratitude Group at 66 Winthrop Street in Harvard Square. Anybody in the area looking for a good meeting? It's actually Monday through Friday, 12 to 1, at behind Pinocchio's in the University Lutheran Church. I share Friday, so I make it a point of making it there every Friday, and it's so invigorating. I love my group. We have the luxury of having a couple of halfway houses or support houses in the city, in the area. So we have a lot of up and coming members coming up, and the group that's in there right now seem to have a lot of people that are really plugged in, and I love that. Like seeing people come up behind me that are really getting the program, that are these girls are excited for it. They show up early, they help set up, that they always are standing in line asking to do one of the readings, and that's amazing. And that just it's an energy I try to bring to the meeting, and I see it spreading like wildfire throughout others. And again, another packed house today. Guys, there's so much love, there's so much support, there's so much camaraderie. My sponsor was there, so I get to talk to him about all the stuff going on with the DMV. And again, as I process it, I realize it's just something I just need to turn over to God. And as soon as I do that, I'm okay with it, because it takes all that, well, do I do this? Do I do this? No, just do the obvious steps that I know I should do my part, and just hand it to God and know that I'll get there. Like, if there's extra steps, it's not that I'm being punished. It makes perfect sense. I mean, it's silliness. Of course it is. The shit that should have been done, but we've been talking about it for days, so I'm going to let it go. I turn it over to God, and I'm able to just go about my day and enjoy my life. It's a big thing for me right now, guys, because I'm running Doug's business. I'm running my business that's getting more, it's expanding at a rate that's shocking to me. I'm into new territory every day, and it's beautiful. It's giving me opportunities to live an adult life that I never thought I'd be able to live. Like, when I look at the totality of where I'm at today, it's absolutely beautiful, but it's also a very high stress. And the reason I bring that up is the more things I can turn over to God, the more things, because that's the thing, guys. I never understood how I could never do all the stuff that I'm doing today when I was in addiction. Never mind just I was always chasing the drugs, but it's more than that. It's the lifestyle of running my own self-will when you're doing so many things wrong. Just trying to keep your head above water takes all of your mental energy, and I'm able to free all that up today, and then I get to put that into places where it belongs. Hard work at my business, where it's growing me an opportunity to live a life that I never dreamed possible. And never mind showing up for my recovery, which is providing me a person that I never dreamed I'd be able to be. Like, these are gifts. I'm not saying they're easy, guys. Life is difficult. Life is hard. We deal with a lot of very serious stuff, and it can be stressful. But when you can turn your will over to God, you just do your part of things. And that allows you to do a better job at your part of things. And it allows you the freedom of just letting go of the stress of trying to manipulate outcomes. Like, I show up, I do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and I expect the right things to happen to me without me having to worry about what they are. Like, boom, that's it. None of this worrying about who said what, da-da-da-da. It's a beautiful thing, and it's also what we're going to talk about today. It's one of my favorite readings today. It is the Just for Today Any Meditation, and it is aptly titled Surrendering Self-Will, which is just the most beautiful thing I've ever done, and I continue to do. And this thing, guys, I tell you all the time, words are declarations, words are affirmations, so I do this twice a day, minimum, in prayer. And then if something gets me, when I get something that stresses me during the day, I stop and I pray again and say, God, it's okay. I'm turning it over to you. Like, I know you're guiding me. I'll do my part of it. I'm not asking God to do the work for me, but I'm leaving the results in His hand, and I'm just asking Him for knowledge of His will for me and the power to carry that out. And then when I'm done with that, I'm like, okay, now I'm back centered. So what's my part of it? What can I do, and what do I have to let go of? And I make that decision, and it just makes such a difference in my world, guys. That's why I get on here. You hear me talk about it so often. And again, I'm not telling you anything you have to do. I'm just letting you know what's made such an amazing difference to me, that somebody that was just wanted to be a hermit and left alone will take the time to get on video and share his life with everybody every day, because I've seen such a beautiful turnaround, and I want others to feel what I felt. I want to keep what I have by giving it away, as we say. So, anyway, let's get into the reading, guys. Surrendering self-will. Our fears are lessened, and faith begins to grow as we learn the true meaning of surrender. We are no longer fighting fear, anger, guilt, self-pity, or depression. Surrender is the beginning of a new way of life. When driven primarily by self-will, we wondered constantly whether we'd covered all the bases, whether we'd manipulated that person just the right way to achieve our ends, whether we'd missed a critical detail in our efforts to control and manage our world. We either felt afraid, fearing our schemes would fail, or angry or self-pitying when they fell through, or guilty when we pulled them off. It was hard, living on self-will, but we didn't know any other way. Not that surrender is always easy. On the contrary, surrender can be difficult, especially in the beginning. Still, it's easier to trust God, a power capable of managing our lives, than to trust only ourselves, whose lives are unmanageable. And the more we surrender, the easier it gets, and it certainly does. It's like, it was so difficult. We'll talk about it afterwards. It gets much easier. When we turn our will and our lives over to the care of our higher power, all we have to do is our part, as responsibly and conscientiously as we can. Then we can leave the results up to the God of our understanding. By surrendering, acting on faith, and living our lives according to the simple spiritual principles of this program, we can stop worrying and we can start living. That is a beautiful thing. The affirmation is just for today. I will surrender self-will. I will seek a knowledge of God's will for me and the power to carry it out. I will leave the results in my higher power's hands. And again, guys, this is something I do on a daily basis. Not to say I do it perfectly, but I do it well enough that it's made a complete and utter change in my life for so much better. I am capable of handling so many, or just growing so, I shouldn't say handling, because I have the gift of so many more relationships in my world. I'm meeting new people constantly. I'm reaching more people constantly. My YouTube is growing. My business is growing. I'm going to more meetings. I'm finding more life outside of work and outside of recovery. Like, my whole world is just expanding constantly. And because I turned it over to God, it is happening in just the right frame that I can handle it. Like, as I'm ready for something new enters my life without me even having to think about it. And that is the most stress-relieving feeling in the world. Like, it really, really is. I don't have the words to convey just how beautiful surrender is, though you hear me talk about it constantly, because I know it was the most important, the most effective, and the most rewarding thing that I have ever done in my life. Hands down, across the board, because it incorporates everything. When everybody asks me, Jesus Christ, what are you doing so differently in your world today? That's what I tell them. I've surrendered. I've given up trying to manipulate and control ridiculous outcomes, giving up the use of drugs, giving up anger, fighting, guilt, paranoia, depression, shame. I've given it all up. I've surrendered it to my higher power. I get up every morning and I center myself in prayer. Just that one action you've heard me talk about, because, guys, I run a service business. There's people calling for me. They know what time I start answering my phone, and it's immediate. And I only have that much control over it now because I let everybody know for the last 18 months. If you call me before I'm ready, I won't answer. I leave my ringer off until I've gotten up and I've said my prayers and I've centered myself for the day. And the difference is, guys, it sounds like a little thing, but here's the difference. I used to run out of the house every day like my pants were on fire, going to handle somebody else's emergency. Today I get up, I say my prayers, I get ready, so I'm doing skincare, I'm doing health care, I'm actually taking care of myself. I'm coming over to my desk, I'm getting on, I'm checking my emails. Is there anything coming up during the day that I have to deal with that I can get paperwork and stuff here to save myself a trip home in the middle of the day? Like, I'm looking at my notebook, well, what do I have scheduled? Who do I want to call? Can I move things around? What's coming overnight? What can I do to make this more efficient? And boom, right there, I leave the house centered, feeling like I'm plugged into God, upbeat with a game plan for my day, not chasing my tail out the door forgetting my shoes, right? Like, that is just, that one act alone, that first bit of surrender took back so much power and so much control in my life. The thing of it is, like I said, it's tough in the beginning. In the beginning, I was lost. I'm like, God, I'll lift my foot, you tell me where to land it. I literally had no idea how to be an adult. We are about we're about 10 days away from my 18 months of continuous sobriety. Still baby steps, guys. That's in the annals of lifelong recovery. I'm just a baby. But in my infancy, I chair a meeting. I run a recovery group online. I run 3 businesses that are slammed, and they're all profitable, and everybody's happy. I'm the mediator for 2 different families of all millionaires that just fight amongst themselves and can't get along. I go over and I handle everything, and I don't even bill for that anymore because they're just friends of mine, and I'm just accepted as part of the family. But that's the mental capacity that I've gained by surrendering all the nonsense in my life. It is just, again, beyond description, guys. And for those of us coming out of active addiction, it is one of the most powerful tools we can use, and you'll see it firsthand because I certainly did. In those early days, I'm like, and I was plugged in because I started seeing signs and synchronicities when I would start to pray, and they were all internal, and that was a shocking thing in of itself because I was convinced at that point I just had to change everything external, like stop sticking, sharp things in my arms and things of that nature, and stop putting external things into my body, and drugs, obviously. I thought it was everything external, and the inside would say the same, but things would magically get better. And I'm so happy to announce that no, that's not the way. But that would have overwhelmed me in the early days. So again, I was just turning it over to God and saying, God, put me where you needed me to be. And those first 3 months of doing that, I walked away from everything that was bad in my life that I never had the balls to walk away from, because this is all I know, and well, how do I say no? I started to confront my people pleasing, my fear of confrontation, my insecurities, my fear of my skeletons come out of my closet, because once you surrender them, you're like, okay, what? Let the chips fall as they may. I started to believe that every time the closet door was open and the skeleton fell out, I started to believe that would happen. It was happening for my highest good. And as I did so, I just continued to get up every day and do the right thing. So when I was confronted with the skeleton, I'd say, okay, yes, this is a lesson in this. So let me analyze this instead of just spouting instinctually my usual excuses. Let me stop and analyze this, and I would spout the truth behind whatever it is that came up. And it was a million different things, guys. You'll know. As I did these things, not only was I suddenly making sense of all the things that confused me over the years. I mean, guys, I thought I was cursed. I thought I had the worst luck in the world. I thought I was living in this random chaos, so there was no point in trying because I just nothing ever worked because I was manipulating, guys. And at the end of the day, I started to see through surrender because all right, I'm getting ahead of myself. When I surrendered, and as these things happened, and I believed they were for my highest good, that allowed me to confront them honestly and just say, okay, yeah, I know that's what I said 1,000 times, but this is the truth. I'm sober. I was in active addiction. I was lying, cheating, stealing, and manipulating. I'm sorry. Take it or leave it. Like, if you don't want to, if you're so disgusted by me that you don't want to see me, then you're not for me. And I had to do that. That's a very important thing for somebody like myself that needed to shed that old life, because I had to decide who was for my new life and what was my old that I had to leave behind. So boom, just that act of surrender showed me that. And then all of a sudden, boom, doing that, I shed so much dead weight from my life. And again, there's still situations that come up that I got to go see somebody that I was a good person that I knew through a bad person, and I get to see them. And again, at the end of the day, they're proud of me. And now they see I'm stabilized, and they'll get my number, and we'll hook back up as possible. But that's okay. That's part of it, guys. There are sacrifices to everything. When I look at the totality of what I've sacrificed compared to what I gained, I'd do it 100 times over. Like, I'm proud of myself. Guys, they got to understand, coming into this 18 months ago, I was so full of hatred, so full of despair. I couldn't look in a mirror. I hadn't showered. I stopped eating. I stopped going to bed because I didn't want to live. I didn't want to do anything that required living another day. I was just fueling myself with drugs and running myself on just like almost like a kamikaze mission just to end it all without having the courage to actually end it on my own. Thank God. Thank you, God. Like, that's where I was at. To see where I'm at today, every room I go into, they're like, oh my God, you bring such a positive energy. You're so full of hope. How do you do this? I surrender. Like, I work the program, and it occasionally confuses me when I'm in but it also shows me that in some ways I've some really good strengths, and I have some bad weaknesses too. I get another parking ticket today. That is certainly one of my weaknesses, man. I cannot manage to properly park in downtown, and I know the parameters, but I just get, I was over my 2 hour. And I did the right thing today, guys. I'm a little side note. I parked at the 2 hour meter. I walked a quarter mile down to the meeting, but then there was a business meeting, and I hung around lollygagging and just, doing fellowship with my friends, and I was over by 10 minutes, and I got another parking ticket, and I had a good laugh. I wasn't mad at it. It's a $40 ticket. It is what it is. But I took a picture of it, and I sent it to my friend Marlene. I go, I just can't beat these in. And she's, oh my God. She goes, you're kidding me. They really get you, huh? I'm like, yeah, I get a shitload of parking tickets. But at the end of the day, it's something I'm not that concerned with, so I don't worry about it. I knew what time I put 2 hours in that meter. I could have paid attention to my phone. It's not a concern. I consider it just occasionally a cost of business. Not that I'm trying to throw the money away, but it's not something that bothers me, and I had a good laugh about it. And I can do that today without feeling like I'm cursed. No, I parked there. I waited too long. I went back and got my truck. Like, meter maids are out there everywhere. We used to call them ninjas here in Cambridge, right? They're hiding in the bushes waiting for that meter to expire, and boom, they get you. Anyway, that's just a small joke. But, I'm able to do those things today, and it's not the end of the world. And the other difference is, I don't let them build up. I pay them immediately. I have an app on my phone, and I just pay them and get them out of the way so they don't bite me in the ass down the road. And then I feel responsible for having done so. And because I do all these things, I have more money in the bank than I ever dreamed I would, so I don't notice the $40 anyway. I'm like, whatever. Not that, whatever, I'm not trying to be like that because I'm not balling, but I'm just saying, $40 used to be a concern. Like, $4,000 is not a concern at this point. Like, it's going to cost me an extra $4,000 with all these new regulations with the registry. I'm also convinced it's going to be a couple $1,000s more for the reinstatement because these are more line items on my record. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not happy about it. I don't want to give them more money, but I'm already giving them $12,000 on top of the $8,000 I've already spent. Like $2,000 more, and that's why, guys, it doesn't make a dent in the account at this point. And that is a statement I didn't think I'd ever be able to make in honesty. Like, God, thank you for all of the amazing blessings in my life. Thank you for the return on my investment in myself. That's amazing. That's what's come of surrender. I've seen a 4,000% increase on return on investment in myself by surrendering my will. Like, if that's not a reward, I don't know what is. My life is blessed today. It's not always easy. It's not always pretty. Not everybody want to even consider doing what I do. But I've taken the best of me, and I bring that to bear every day, and I surrender everything else. I surrender everything, and God shows me the best of me, to be honest with you. Better way to say that. And it's absolutely beautiful, guys. I'm just going to start repeating things, so I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you all so very much for being here with me today. Please try surrender in whatever form it looks like. I'm not trying to promote a program. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just sharing what has worked so incredibly well for me that, everybody needs this information because everybody could be living that much better life. And that's another gift. I didn't care about anybody, myself included. Now I take all this extra work to try and help others around me. Boy, does that feel good. Guys, that's the video for today. Thank you so very much for being here with me. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.